The sand was black, not soft, not golden, black, like crushed coal, like ash. Every step sank, every step heavy, every step forward meant someone wasn't coming home. February 19th, 1945, a tiny volcanic island in the Pacific, only 8 square miles of rock. And over the next month, it would become one of the bloodiest battles in American history. Not for a city, not for a capital, not even for civilians, just an island, a dot on the map. It was called Iwo Jima. Most people couldn't have pointed to it on a globe, but to the military, it was everything. American B-29 bombers were flying from the Marianas to Japan. They were long missions, dangerous missions, and if they were damaged, they had nowhere to land. Thousands of airmen were dying simply because there wasn't a safe runway. Iwo Jima had airfields, radar stations, and it sat right between America and Japan like a loaded gun. So command made a decision: take the island and take it fast. 3 days, maybe five. That's what they predicted. Send in the US Marine Corps, overwhelm it, move on. Simple. But it wasn't simple because waiting for them was something they did not expect. Before the landing, American ships bombarded the island for days, weeks. Heavy artillery, naval guns, bombers. They thought nothing could survive that. So when the first wave of troops hit the beach, something felt strange. There was no gunfire, no resistance, just quiet. It was too quiet. Marines stepped on the sand and moved forward, slowly. Then the island exploded. Machine guns opened from hidden bunkers. Mortars rained down on US troops. Artillery zeroed in. The beach turned into a slaughterhouse in seconds. Men couldn't dig in. The sand was too soft, too volcanic. Every foxhole collapsed. There was nowhere to hide. Forward meant death, backward meant drowning in the ocean. So they lay there, pinned down, praying, screaming for medics, watching their friends fall inches away from their faces, all on a beach that no one had ever heard of. The Americans expected bonsai charges, suicidal rushes, old tactics. Instead, they found something worse: silence. Because the enemy wasn't charging, they were waiting, hiding beneath the island. The Japanese had created 11 miles of tunnels, bunkers connected like anthills, machine gun nests that disappeared and reappeared somewhere else. You'd clear one position, and then they'd shoot from behind you. The man responsible for all this was General Tadamichi Kiribayashi, a brilliant, patient man. He told his men, "Don't die quickly. Make the Americans bleed." So every yard forward cost American lives. There were flamethrowers into caves, grenades thrown down tunnels, fighting in darkness, hand to hand combat, knife to knife. But sometimes you couldn't even see who you were killing. The enemy wasn't in front of you, he was under you. At the southern end of the island stood a volcano. It was steep, jagged, and it watched everything. Its name is Mount Suribachi. And if you controlled it, you controlled the entire battlefield. So Marines climbed up step by step. Every step they were under fire. Every step, bodies would fall down the slope behind them until finally they reached the top and raised a small American flag. Cheers erupted across the island. Ships blasted their horns. And for the first time, it felt like maybe, just maybe, they could win. Later, commanders wanted a bigger flag, a more visible flag on the top of Mount Suribachi. So a second group climbed up there, and that's when Joe Rosenthal snapped a photograph. It was 6 men straining together, raising the flag. Unity, victory, hope. And it became one of the most famous war images in history. 3 of those 6 men would be dead within days and would never leave that island. The battle didn't end after the flag was raised. It only got worse. Still, cave by cave, bunker by bunker, for 36 straight days, the killing kept on. When it was finally over, nearly 7,000 Americans were dead. 7,000. 19,000. Almost the entire Japanese force wiped out. Estimates of 20,000 men. Tens of thousands of families' lives changed forever. And only for an 8 square mile of rock. 8. Let that sink in. More casualties than some entire wars for an island smaller than most towns. And every inch of that island was paid for in blood. And this is the part we don't talk about enough. We remember the flag. We remember the photo. We remember the heroism. But we don't remember the fear. Or the screams. Or the 19-year-olds who never made it home. History loves symbols. But war is personal. It's a mother getting a telegram. It's an empty seat at the dinner table. It's a helmet that never gets picked up. Iwo Jima wasn't glorious, and it wasn't cinematic. It was brutal, dirty, human, and it reminds us of something important. Freedom has a cost, and someone always has to pay it. 8 square miles, thousands of lives, one photograph that the world would never forget. But the real story is the men who never came home. This is historical, and this is why we remember.